So we're using Photoshop on this one, and we're going to change our picture to black and white, and then we're going to add a little bit of color back in. So I'm going to do this by adding a layer mask. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to add a black and white layer. So once I click on my black and white layer, I can actually adjust the colors within the picture. So things that would have been yellow is going to be affected by the yellow slider. Things that would have been green in the picture will be affected by the green slider, and so on. So I can just kind of tweak this and make it the way I like it, kind of up to your own personal preference here. And then once I'm happy with it, I could either minimize that or close out of it completely. So now I have a black and white image, but notice I still have my original image here. So if I were to turn this off, my background image is untouched. Okay, so I'm going to turn that back on, and I'm going to make sure I have this little icon here selected. And what I'm going to do is add some color into the picture, and I'm going to do that by painting. So over here, this first one controls your foreground. So I'm going to actually switch that, and I'm going to paint with black. Okay, black will kind of cut through the image and let your original color come through. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually zoom in a little bit here, and I'm going to grab my paintbrush tool, which looks like I already have. I'm going to adjust my brush size just a little bit here because I'm going to come down and paint over here, and I'm going to use that soft rounded brush. So by painting with the color black, right over my image, I'm kind of painting through here, and you can see the original color coming through. Now, if you mess up, say I didn't want to get some of that blue in there, I can switch these right here, my foreground and my background colors. I can switch those, and now I'm painting with white. So white kind of covers that up. And if I want to adjust my brush, I could adjust my brush and get in here to paint over these little areas here that I accidentally got the blue to come through. And then I can switch it back, and now I'm painting with black again. And that is how I could bring a little bit of color back into a black and white photo. And I can do that on any area of the photo that I want. Let me zoom back out and we can see what that looks like. Okay. Now, the nice thing about using a layer mask is I've not damaged my original image whatsoever. Let's say I don't like what I've just done. I can come over here to the mask. I can click on the garbage can icon, and it's all gone, and I've not touched my original photo. I want to show you one more thing here with opacity. So I'm actually going to create that mask again. Not that way. Let me get rid of that real quick. I'm going to do a black and white adjustment layer here, tweak it. I want to have it a little bit brighter, and this is okay with me. So what I want to do on this one is I'm going to make my brush a little bigger here, and I'm going to do kind of a gradual, I'm going to make my brush real big, and I'm going to do kind of a gradual black and white effect here. I'm going to go to the bottom of my picture, and let's say this is going to be full color across the bottom. I'm going to reduce my opacity a little bit down to about 70%, and notice that's a little lighter. Let's go down to about 40%, even lighter. And then let's go down to about 15, even lighter. And then we just kind of gradually went from full color to black and white. So that's just another thing that you can do with that. Don't forget to save your image by coming up here to File. And I always recommend that you click on Save As and you save yourself a version in Photoshop format, which is Photoshop's native format. So you could pick between cloud or on your computer. Notice the save as type is Photoshop. This will save it in a Photoshop document format. That way you still have your access to your mask and your layers, and you can open this image back up in Photoshop and edit it some more. When you are ready to make a final copy of your JPEG image, you need to come up here and go to File and then choose Export. Okay, Export as. And then for your options, you could choose PNG if you have something with transparency in the background, or just a regular old image would be JPEG. Pick JPEG if you need to send your file into another document or a slideshow or an email. That's your typical picture format right there. And then click the export button.